We have power over what we believe, but what we believe has power over us. Power to heal and power to destroy. Vance Vanders was on his way home one night in a southern Alabama town, and he decided to take a shortcut through a cemetery. And halfway through the cemetery, he is confronted by a local witch doctor who wafted a foul-smelling stuff in his face, pronounced a curse upon him, told him that he was going to go home, get sick, take to his bed, and die. He went home that night, had a terrible night, tossing and turning all night, woke the next morning and was nauseated and aching all over, called in sick to work. Stayed in bed all day, and next night was rough, and each night after that, and he got worse and weak and lost weight, and after a couple of weeks of getting worse, the family took him to the hospital. At the hospital, the doctors ran numerous tests, but they could find nothing specifically wrong, but Vance continued to worsen. Finally, the family told the doctor about the curse. The doctor thought, went home, came back the next morning, called the family together, and said, Vance, I went to the cemetery last night, and I pinned the witch doctor up against the tree, and I forced him to tell me how the curse worked. Vance, he rubbed lizard eggs into your abdomen, and one of those eggs is hatched, and there's a lizard inside you eating you from the inside out. But he told me how to break the curse. And with great ceremony, he called in a nurse and drew up a clear liquid in a syringe and injected it into Vance. And he injected a medicine that makes you vomit. And as Vance is vomiting, the doctor secretly drops a little green lizard into the vomit and says, look, Vance, the curse is broken. Vance's eyes pop open. He falls back into a fitful sleep, wakes 3 hours later, ravenously hungry, fully recovered. Sam Schumann, 1970s, Sam Schumann was diagnosed with metastatic liver cancer. The doctors told him he had only 3 months to live. And Sam died within 3 months. At the autopsy, the pathologist discovered that the doctors were wrong. Sam had only a tiny little tumor encapsulated within his liver. It had not spread through his body. Sam did not die of metastatic liver cancer. He died of believing he was dying of metastatic liver cancer. Derek Adams, 21-year-old college student, and as most college students, he was struggling for a little money, so he enrolled into a pharmaceutical drug trial for a new antidepressant because he had struggled with some depression. Partway through the trial, his girlfriend broke up with him, and he was despondent and distraught and went home and overdosed on all the medication that he had from the drug trial. Afterwards, within a few minutes, he realized he could die, so he called 911. When the ambulance got there, he was laying on the ground and couldn't stand up. They put a monitor on him, and his heart was throwing all types of irregular heart rhythms, heartbeats called PVCs. His blood pressure was so low they couldn't get it, and he was diaphoretic and sweating all over. They put him in the ambulance. They rushed him to the hospital. At the hospital, the doctors began infusing bags of saline to try to bring his blood pressure up, but his blood pressure was 80 over 30. His heart rate was still throwing all types of regular heartbeats. And so they called the manufacturer of this drug, and they said, you've got to break the seal. Tell us what this is because he's overdosed. We've got to know. And they broke the seal, and he was on placebo. And when they told them that he was on a sugar pill, and they told Derek, within 20 minutes, his blood pressure and heart rate were normal. We have power over what we believe, but what we believe holds power over us. Power to heal and power to destroy. The question is, what do you believe? I'm ugly. No one likes me. I can't do anything right. God will never forgive me for what I've done. My parents hate me. All the guys think I'm fat. All the girls think I'm gay. Everyone thinks I'm stupid. What do you believe? Jenny was out of control. The rages, anger, outbursts, skipping school, and the steady stream of foul language started when she was 13. Her mother and stepfather tried various forms of discipline, grounding, loss of cell phone and iPad, and iPod, extra chores, but things only got worse. At 14, she began dressing in black, wearing black nail polish, and sneaking away from school in order to smoke. Her parents took her to counselors and psychiatrists. She was placed on several medications But things didn't get better. They continued to get worse. By 15, she was deliberately cutting herself when stressed and binging and purging on an almost daily basis. She complained of feeling fat despite weighing 100 pounds at 5 feet 4 inches tall. She reported anxiety, emptiness, moodiness, irritability. She became overwhelmed at the slightest stressors. She would either binge and purge or would cut herself in order to relieve the stress. She was out of control and getting worse fast. Jenny was beautiful. She had dark hair with brilliant green eyes with a sparkling golden hue around the edges, yet her eyes radiated a deep, almost primal pain. She mostly avoided direct eye contact with me, hanging her head, pulling her knees up to her chest and wrapping her arms around her knees. She was frightened when I met her, but she wasn't frightened of me. She was frightened and scared of the emotional storm raging inside her. She was terrified she could not be helped. She was afraid she would never find peace. She felt worthless.